Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day 3 of the free agency frenzy week and the first actual factual official day of free agency. The actual free agency window opens up in about 2.5 hours. We'll see all these moves that have been made over the last 2 days made official. And we are also going to see, of course, a bevy of new moves. So far today has been slow outside of just a couple of announcements. It's been stuff like Baker Mayfield going to Tampa, Jordan Poirier re-signing with Buffalo, a couple of high-profile releases. But I do want to talk about two things here to start off the day that pertain at least somewhat to the Seattle Seahawks that we've heard so far. The first is the one that directly relates to the Seahawks, and I'm sorry to have to talk about this one. I know some people aren't going to like it. I know some people are going to continue to try to push back against this stuff, but I feel like it needs to be talked about because, first of all, a lot of Seahawks fans covet this guy, and second of all, we actually now know we met with him. Yes, the Seahawks were at Jalen Carter's pro day today, and they met with him. Jalen Carter was having his pro day at Georgia today, and the Seahawks met with him. So that has to at least intrigue every Seahawks fan, even if you don't like him, even if you don't want him, especially if you don't want him now. Even that being the case, you have to acknowledge that the team is at least showing some interest. So we met with Jalen Carter today, but that's not really what I'm here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about concerning Jalen Carter is the awful, awful performance he had at his pro day. At his pro day today, he weighed in at 323 pounds, which is 9 pounds heavier than what he weighed in 2 weeks ago at the combine. So he has gained 9 pounds in 2 weeks. That is not that big of a deal, but he looked terrible during the drills. You can watch him punching the bags. You can watch him showing his bend. I know he's not an edge player, so bend is whatever, but he did not look good at all. So to me, that is the major headline for Seahawks fans right now. Jalen Carter bombed his pro day. Did not look good. Showed up heavy. Not interested in showing that he deserves to be a top 5 pick. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if he's having mental problems because of what happened when he was what happened with his teammate. I don't know if he just doesn't really care that much. I don't know what's going on, but for my part, I can say I think this is too much. I am out on Carter. It's just way too much to spend a number 5 pick on at this point. If it was one thing, I could deal with it. If it was a bad pro day, I would be like, okay, by itself, that's not enough to move me off of him when I think he might be the top 3 player, a top 3 player in this class, and definitely top 2 outside of the quarterbacks. But now you have this bad pro day, you have the weight, you have the off the field issues, you have the conditioning issues, which I do still think are overblown. But at the same time today, if you watched him do a 10-yard sprint and come up like he was about to die of exhaustion after sprinting 10 yards, even I don't do that. So I'm out on Jalen Carter. At this point, I definitely don't want him at 5. Some people are saying, what if he falls to 20? That's a little different. I would be a little more open to it there. But as of right now, this guy seems like he's just going through a pretty epic fall down the draft list. At this point, I don't think that it makes a lot of sense to covet him at 5. It's not often you get a top 5 pick. It's just not. And us getting this top 5 pick was not because of our own bad play. It was because of the bad play of one Russell Wilson over in Denver. So we can't count on this happening again. I don't want to spend the pick on a super high risk player like Jalen Carter. So as of right now, I am completely out on the idea of Jalen Carter. Garth Knight, thank you for the $9.99. I will shout you out as soon as I'm done cutting this video. And thank you for the Nwosu GIF. Okay, so the other thing that's happened this morning is that Aaron Rodgers has made his decision. Aaron Rodgers has made his decision. He is planning on being a New York Jet. The Jets want to trade for him. The Jets want to give him what he wants. and the Packers want to trade him to New York. They're just waiting for the compensation to meet their expectations. Aaron Rodgers is out of the conference. I don't know how big a deal that part of it is because I don't think he's that good anymore. I don't think he's the biggest deal in the world anymore. I don't think he's an elite quarterback or even close to it anymore. I am not so much thinking about that, but I do think he is better than Jordan Love. I don't care for Jordan Love. And at the end of the day, I wish he had retired because that would have been the funniest conclusion here. But Aaron Rodgers is on the move. He is going to New York. What I will say is this. I hope that the Packers don't get a massive trade haul for him. If the Packers get a massive trade haul for a 39-year-old quarterback or however old he is right now, a really old quarterback who already showed he's past his prime, that's going to annoy me. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve to get bailed out after the mistakes they made last offseason. Should have traded him then. They didn't do it, and he had a not very good season. Should not be getting big value out of him now. So, yeah. Ding dong, the witch is dead, as some people in chat are saying. Aaron Rodgers has announced that his intention is to be a Jet, and the Packers have basically already announced they kind of want to trade him. That's their preferred path, and the Jets are clearly doing whatever it takes to get him. Hopefully they don't include giving up massive amounts of draft capital in that whatever it takes, but we'll see about that. So for the first time in a long time, the Packers are going to have a new quarterback to start week 1, and it's going to be an unknown quantity. It's going to be somebody that people don't really know about. So, I mean, as a fellow NFC team, I guess that's preferable. Although, I will say, I don't think Aaron Rodgers has that much left in the tank. I think at this point, he's just kind of another guy. He's better than average at this point, but he could easily slip to the point where he's not even average by the time you get to 2023. All right, so that's the main news this morning. Obviously, the Jalen Carter thing's more interesting, but I think it's time to reevaluate your position on Jalen Carter if you were still in his corner. And there were a lot of people who were. A lot of people were saying the legal stuff was overblown. My position before today was that I didn't really want to spend the number 5 pick on Jalen Carter, but I could be swayed. I wasn't married to it. I wasn't obsessed with the position. I was just a little bit cautious about it. But after today, I have to be a pretty hard pass. I don't... I just don't think all these red flags are going to make it work. So at this point now, you got to talk about Will Anderson. And if he's not there, then maybe you are looking at that trade down. Or maybe you're just going to take whoever's best left. Like somebody like Cansey at this point could be best left. Miles Murphy, Tyree Wilson. Like, that's possible too. So, yeah. Big happenings today in the NFL on those two fronts. Otherwise, pretty quiet. So, let me know what you guys think down below. Maybe you feel differently about Carter. Maybe you're not done with him yet. But at number 5, I can't do it. Not anymore. Definitely can't do it now. Was already concerned. Now I'm outright like there's way too much smoke here. So see you guys later. Go Hawks. We'll be continuing to stream for the rest of the day. Hope to see you in stream as the action picks up.